2nd of October, we pick up at around lunchtime. The group is heading towards the city from the graveyard and have lunch at the Warrior Cup, and then split the party. I know, shocking. Half the group is going to go do some reconnaissance in the city, and the other half is remaining behind. Claire and Cosette volunteer to observe the townsfolk and eat pie, while Silverius uses the sending stone and gets communication from someone in the camp who comes over and meets with him. So the Sneaky Sneaks, Team Rat, as they were called, because Smokey was a rat, grab some mops and buckets on the way to the North Gate, and having disguised their appearance, and hang out in the area in the center of the city, right near the Drake's Warden barracks that's opposite the castle. There's a tavern there as well, and they're sort of like loitering in that square, basically acting like they're cleaning stuff, trying to gain information, look at the activities of the Drake's Wardens, noticing the increased diversity of the Drakesburg is by far more diverse than Delzimer, but even so, there were less of the less of the not really more, just less of the human adjacent lineages, I guess you could say. But while they were looking in the center of town there, they saw a couple of Dragonborn, one gold, one red, some Tabaxi, gnomes, halflings, even a Kenku. So there's definitely an uptick in unusual visitors brought in by the Day of Deliverance. Bador hears that someone got arrested for using magic, that there's higher costs at the dock than usual, hears of a phrase, the Church of Scales, but doesn't hear anything else in that particular sentence. Unfortunately, just catches that phrase. Eska, meanwhile, was watching the Drake's Warden activity and already can tell that there is a lower presence on the walls than before. And again, you're able to see a couple of people going in, and in every case so far, it seems like they've presented some papers, which are reviewed, and then they're allowed in. Severius, meanwhile, while he's waiting for his contact to show up, summons Kedox. Kedox is frantic and crazy, and tries to portray some images to Severius. Just as a reminder, unfortunately, pseudo-dragons don't speak, and when they communicate telepathically, they don't provide words, they provide images that are just sort of linked together. And so the images were the Order of the Dawning Sapphire headquarters, Grethin and other leaders, and then sort of smoke and fog dissipate. And then Severius is able to calm him down a little bit, and another image is included once he sort of calms down. So then the order that is added into the order. So it's the headquarters, Grethin and friends, the island of Drakesburg, and then the smoke and fog dissipating. A gnome arrives with a voice that was recognizable from a previous meeting under the graveyard. And Claire and Cassette come upstairs as well. They had a good pie search, and there are 5 partially eaten pies downstairs. They were interrupted. So, we don't know. They've just left 5 half-eaten pies downstairs, sadly.
The
gnome
monsters.
Silverius pushes for more assistance, and the gnome offers 2 options. A scroll of seeming to enable the party to be disguised as a group, or a picture passage, which is an empty picture frame that, when placed on a floor, wall, or ceiling, creates a passageway through it, 30 feet long, that just remains there for an hour, at which point it becomes deactivated and useless. Then it's just a picture frame. The group ultimately decides to take the scroll. The last thing that happened, Eska tripped over a halfling merchant who was leaving the castle, and a dwarf with a very large plumed hat, and does the old classic, oh, let me help you up, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so clumsy, and pilfers a bunch of paperwork, and just tucks them away for later. To my knowledge, those papers have not yet been. And then Bardor and Eska head out. Mops and buckets are returned. And that was my, not as short as it could have been, recap. So we pick up, it's right now, late afternoon, 5:30ish, in the Warrior Cup in West Meander. And currently everyone is upstairs as Cosette and as Eska and Bardor return.
I guess Eska will take the papers and hand them to, I guess just put them down in front of the group and say, I found these on somebody coming out of the castle. I am hopeful that perhaps they can be useful for us. What do you think? Take a look through.
Okay. What do I see?
So a lot of the papers are not very useful. It's you're gonna see like very like it's to do with like trading routes, and there's some orders that have been placed that are on the documents. One does stand out to you though, which is the letter granting entry to the merchant. It just says that it's a like a formal headed letter from from Drakesburg, inviting this merchant, whose name, where did I put? There you go. Leroy Van Gessel.
Leroy Jenkins, okay. Leroy Van Castle?
Gessel.
Yeah.
I just popped it in the chat. And his associates. Entry to meet with the the Drakesburg sort of what's the like the commerce
Guild?
crap. Yes, but it's not really the guild. It would be their
Chapter.
like Minister for Commerce, essentially. That's what I was thinking. It is a person rather than a group that they were being brought to meet. I mean, obviously he's going to have his own retinue, but yes. Looking at the document, you do not see any indication that it has been like torn or checked or stamped or anything like that. It's just a bit scrunched up from when it got shoved in Eska's pocket.
So did you say it's granting access to that one person though.
And his associates.
Yeah, right. But okay. Because it's. And did you say that he was leaving? He was leaving the castle, right?
Yeah, she stopped him on the way out.
All right. Okay. Okay. So I'll hold out that one to Eska and say this one might come in handy.
Excellent. I guess she'll take it and stow it.
Okay. If you really want to, you can put that on your character sheet that you now have an invitation for Leroy Van Gessel.
Oh, I'll put it on there.
Now that I've said it.
Yep.
Yep.
We could become pirates and raid the trade routes.
New campaign path.
Yeah. Feels like this stuff isn't important. I'm like, oh yes it is.
Let's establish ourselves for 4 to 5 years as piracy on the outskirts of town and just see what happens.
Yes. That's
The
how we
long
will, yep, exactly. We'll get through this.
It is technically an option.
So do you have 4 to 5 years of random encounter tables?
Hold on. Let me just go to ChatGPT.
I do now.
Provide 4 to 5 years of random encounters. Yep.
Are we all set for tomorrow? Do we have a preference of how we attempt to do things?
Am I still a rat?
I don't think of it that way.
You did not ever pop out. So, technically, you were still in rat form. And you've been for quite a while now. Like 3 hours, right? So,
Yeah, 3 hours I can be a rat.
yeah. So, technically 3 hours isn't up. You could be quite happy snuggled in, I think it was Barter's pocket.
Yeah, I'll have fallen asleep and be taking a nap.
It's going to be interesting when the 3 hours are up.
Unless I get stirred into awakeness.
Well, we'll see if that happens.
Can I roll to see if I've forgotten?
Roll a history check.
Please.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. That would have been... There's probably about an hour left.
But do I know that?
I don't know that you know how long Smokey can stay as a rat. It may have come up.
Is that the question in Barder's mind, or does he just even remember if Smokey was on
No,
him?
it's more that. I'm going with that one.
Probably not.
That sounds right.
Barder lights his pipe up and inhales wrong, coughs, and goes to like pat his chest with his fist. And
A giant cat appears.
First out of Bardora's pocket.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll need a tailor on standby. Bardo's clothes are about to get very messed up.
So what do we think? Are we going to try and go in the front entrance?
Are
Are we
it's just
still-
me or everybody?
No, everybody.
Okay.
We're all in the room together.
gotcha.
So that is what we are doing?
I mean, it's unless there has been a change of heart.
I am still struggling to find a reason to put ourselves in danger.
I see.
I have not been sold on that just yet.
Well, I mean, I guess my reason is that I feel we need to find out more what is going on. I know we came here with the idea of purely surveying, but we have found out, or we have started to untie the threads on much more than I think we had anticipated. And we now know that there are 2 people who have been taken who are, albeit new, allies to us, who know what is going on, and we know that the purveyor is involved and he is also a problem. My fear if we do not act is that we lose the 2 of them and we lose the trail. And to add to that, tomorrow is the time when the castle will probably be the least guarded of any time. So it seems a prime opportunity to get in. Plus, I have this invitation. We can just walk in.
Savarius crosses his arms and he kind of leans back in his chair and exhales just a slow sigh.
I somehow knew that there was a thread that you would not let go. We may have a bit of assistance in the form of some additional magical effects when our informant comes.
That would be most appreciated. I see this as very similar to our mission that we did undertake to go into the sewers. It is a dangerous mission with the potential of great benefit. Unfortunately, I fear we are tied to a course right now of taking risks to find out what is going on. Everything we have been doing since we left the island has been that way, and I might have chosen a slower, a more time to take in what we have so far, but time has not been afforded to us as much as we would like.
I This time it feels a bit more dangerous than prior. So we need to be extra on our guard and make this one count.
Indeed. I don't want to do it, but I feel a need to do it. But I cannot, you know, I do not try to force everybody, just encourage.
I mean, I don't really want to do this either. I'm not really sure how well other options are.
Same. It's dangerous, but don't. Another opportunity like this. So I think take advantage of it and just be as careful as we can. Pretty good at getting out of trouble, it would seem.
I imagine there will be some tough decisions along the way as well. Once we start, so we'll try and keep abreast of what each of us is thinking, so that we do not push too far without a group consent, as best as time will allow. If it feels too dangerous, we get out.
As far as moving forward, those papers that you have, are they just an admittance?
What did they say, Butter?
Just said that this fellow can go in with his staff.
That is into the castle, correct? Or something else?
His castle. I mean, he was coming out of there.
This may sound silly, but perhaps we attempt to portray ourselves in this way as a nobleman and his retinue, and we take with us the liveries that did we keep those of the Drake's Guard? Did everybody keep their things?
I don't see why they wouldn't. Being kept. I don't recall them being disposed of. They're stinky, but Claire could have fixed that.
So perhaps we keep
Yeah,
those secreted upon us, and once we get in, if we feel the need, we can transition to guards, and if we are already in the castle, that will be a lot easier to blend than trying to enter. We will have a dual-pronged disguise.
Not a bad idea. Is there any knowledge of the layout of the castle? I do not prefer to go in unknowing.
Externally? Sure.
Internally.
Oh. No. Do your friends at the that you were talking to, they wouldn't know, would they?
Perhaps
What's his name? Marcus?
Marius.
Perhaps Marius. I thought he said that he once served with them. He might know something.
Is he the one bringing the items?
I thought so. Was he, Phil?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Aye.
Then that is perfect. We can ask him.
So, do you guys have anything else you want to do for the rest of the night? Well, rather before you head to see Marius.
Not that I can think of for me.
No.
In that case, quick jaunt along the river, back into Dark Orchard.
What point do I come out of my wild shape?
Roll a percentile die.
How does that work again? I roll this one with a D9 or a D10?
Yep.
I got a 20 and a 4. So 24?
Okay. So about 5 minutes into the journey, down the path towards Dark Orchard, Bardor, you become very aware of movement in a pocket. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy. Uh, 11.
Okay. It takes you a second to realize what's going on, and just as you're about to reach your hand into the pocket to fish out the rat, the pocket explodes. And Smokey just tumbles down in the ground in front of you. That pocket's ruined. If it helps, it's just like torn away from your clothes. So, you know, you can always find someone to sew it. Well, sew a new pocket on. But some damage has been done. And Smokey, you tumble very ungracefully. You do not land on your feet because you were not awake when that happened. So you just like roll down into the well, it's very cold hard ground because it's still below freezing right now.
Oh,
Clear sky, but very cold.
What is happening?
Blasted cat.
Everyone's just like, whoa!
Where are we? What's going on?
I was wondering where you were.
I think I fell asleep.
We're
It's
in the
cold.
castle.
Where are we going?
We're in the castle. We're about to jump through the portal.
Oh dear. He jumps up quickly and dusts himself off.
I'm like patting myself down, looking through some stuff, and I'm like, ah, yeah, I never got a new sewing kit. Dang it.
Smokey, as soon as you jump up, you realize that you are not in the castle. You are still in the, you're in the weird lull section between West Meandering and Dark Orchard.
Oh, you are funny. Okay. This is not the castle. Oh, so where are we going for real?
We're going to meet Marius.
Oh, okay. And he quickly gets himself ready for trudging forward.
Alrighty. So at about 6-ish, you enter into the not overly welcoming interior of the Cup and Rat. Wherein you see... Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Wherein you see the barman Jerry behind the bar, and at the table furthest away from the fire, you see a solitary hooded figure at a large table. Everyone else is loitering as close to the fire as they can get, save for this one chap. I say everyone else. There's only 3 of the tables that are close to the fire have anyone at them. It's just a couple of 2s and 3s there. So, not a big crowd right now.
We casually make our way over to the hooded figure.
He looks up at you and gestures for you to sit.
Sits.
Good evening to you all. I was a little surprised to hear of additional requests, but we scrambled and we were able to put together some supplies for you. I think if if you get caught, I don't know you. Never met you. But, if you don't get caught, great. Congratulations. And he has a small sort of little sack, really, like a little brown sack that he pops on the table and just says, "Okay, who's taking this?"
So far as he reaches forward and slides it to himself. He just peeks inside.
You see a couple of bundles of paper, a couple of rocks. Yeah, that's about it.
As he's looking in, he nods and he's.
We are hoping that this is an element that helps prevent our potential discovery.
Good. You do not want to be discovered. I'm not fully certain what it is you plan on doing, but if it is even slightly what I think it is, if you get discovered, I will not be seeing you again. I am fairly certain of that.
You will certainly hear if we get discovered. That I am certain.
Indeed. Do you need anything else from me?
It came to mind the inner layout of this castle. Do you have a recollection or a memory, or even better, a map?
No map. But yes. I doubt it will have changed in this whole stone. Where are you trying to reach?
I suspect a holding cell.
Right. So you will go. Let's assume you go through the gates. I believe this is most likely based on what I've just given you. There are two main entrances. One is grand. This is often where dignitaries go, but if they are lower in standing, it is not unheard of for them to go through the smaller entrance, which is off to the left. If it were me, I would try to go through the left. It is less busy, less attention. From there, the holding cells are one level down. To reach the staircase, you will have to go through that entranceway. There is a guard post area there, and soon after that there is a fork. If you take the right, it leads you basically back to where the front entrance was. So it really is just a way to let people know their place if they are sent to big entrance or small entrance. They lead the same way ultimately. However, if at the fork you take the left, that leads towards one of the spiral staircases, up and down. Up will take you up eventually to the walls, as well as some of the offices of various different roles within the city. Down will take you to things like the holding cells. And if you go down twice. Twice? Yes, twice. It's been a while. If you go down twice, that takes you into... There is an entrance into the sewers from there. I am fortunate enough to say I was never sent to guard there. My nose would have had great difficulties. It is quite sad. But yes, so there's not. If you go down, there's not a lot of. There's not a lot of choices. You come out of the staircase into a corridor. I'm trying to remember. I believe there may have even been cells left and right. I think, if I recall correctly, the cells to the left were often just used for storage, mostly like crates, boxes. Because the weaveworms do a very good job of dissuading bad behavior in the city. Even if you're not using magic, nobody wants to be on the wrong side of a war. So, the holding cells were not used very often. But yes, I believe if someone is being held in there, that would most likely be to the right when you go down the stairs.
Are there multiple places that they hide or imprison their more priority individuals that you know of?
In my time there, nobody was a priority. We did not have any high offenders, so there was nobody trying to assassinate the potentate or anything like this. There was nobody trying to do those sorts of things. In my experience, you are either a lower level scumbag, stealing whatever, taken to the holding cells, roughed up, reminded of your place, sent back out. Or you were most likely killed doing whatever bad thing it was you were doing. I feel like those are the most likely results. Yeah. If there's nothing else, I think it's best if I am not seen with you.
Savaris looks to the rest of the group.
I wish you good fortune. I hope we will cross paths again.
As do I.
And he didn't ever pull his hood down, but he kind of like pulls it up just a little bit more, whether for protecting identity or protection from the cold. Hard to say. And opens the door and slinks out.
Do we need to confirm that they are still even alive?
Probably smart.
Says, yeah, I can reach out to them now and see what else they can tell me.
Be important.
Probably fine if I do it here. I don't think. Yeah, okay, it's fine. And so she's going to send a message. So she'll say, hi. Are you still okay? Have they moved you again? What else can you tell us about where you are? There's a pause, and then a response comes back. Still alive. Not moved again. Not really well guarded. There's a big hullabaloo happening over. Can't see what. Lots of activity. That's what you get.
Were you hoping they weren't going to be alive, Sir Various?
He just kind of crooks a smile and chuckles.
Not entirely.
Well,
And now I guess we have to go rescue them.
I mean, it would be polite. I mean, at least try.
He side eyes you.
Bella made it almost seem a little easy getting in there. Like it was just right there.
Right in, to the left, and down. And somehow I don't believe it's that simple.
Probably not. Do we think that a well-to-do merchant would be trying to go in the back door like that? That might be something that we use some other time or something. Maybe we go in as some of these guards. Put on that display.
I mean, we could do. My original thought was to go in as the merchant and then change into the guards. But we could just try and go straight in as the guards, and hope that they do not ask any more questions.
Well,
You guys have decided so much while I was sleeping.
Anything you want to contribute, Smokey?
I am just getting to grips with the plan.
He pulls out the scroll. Well, he just kind of like pulls it slightly out of the bag. It was the seeming scroll, right? He didn't give us like a different scroll. Looking at it.
Yes, you
Good
would.
question.
You would be able to.
Make sure it's not like a flaming arrow spell.
Yeah, no, you would be able to understand
So
it.
stupid.
So, I think technically the way it works is if the spell is on your spell list, even if it's not one that is your level, if it's on your list at least, you can understand the scroll. So yes, you would be able to identify that this is a scroll of seeming.
Okay.
And then the other one is a scroll of locate creature.
Okay. So yeah, he kind of like verifies that, and he's it says that to the group that
these should be of good use. Scroll of seeming, whether we use that prior or post. And then just to make sure we are on the right path.
Ah, these are very good.
So, you said that it kept going down into maybe the sewer or something as well. You think maybe that, I don't know, goes down somewhere to this area where those others said some sort of portals or whatever they are?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Like, are we going to go in just for a rescue mission? Or are we going to push on? What is the end goal here?
I'm wondering if they aren't in the cell. If they are underneath. Marius never went down there. And Teta and Chorus talked about there being portals. Whether or not they went through them, in this circumstance, I am unknown. If we are to go in, the merchant issue might come up. We could perhaps pose as guards on a prisoner transport, or even fake one of our own, just to get access to the cell area. Lest one of us make a distraction.
A distraction is a little tricky because if the distraction is not sufficient, it is wasted and potentially separates the group. So perhaps sticking together and having a good story may be safer under the circumstances.
Our first go of that in the sewers seemed to work.
I mean, we could... I guess the question is what gets us in without anybody wanting to accompany us. And I do not know which is the most likely. I mean, I'm willing to go either way.
Would
What,
would the
what's
idea be that we use the scroll to make us appear in whichever scenario we decide to go with?
I mean, one thing we could do is if we do use the scroll, we could highlight a group of guards who we know are working together and go in exactly as them. I suppose that has some degree of keeping making it less suspicious. So I could see it in that sense. I'm not sure I'd want to go in as random, otherwise we may as well just throw on the uniforms we have and go as we are. But if we pick specific, if we look out for a patrol and then go in as that patrol, that seems like not a bad idea. Even if it is going as that patrol and one of us is a prisoner of the patrol. who they picked up en route or something on their rounds and have brought back for misconduct? That could work.
So I'm reading the spell description. Oh, it's touch. Well, no, it's not touch. It's range.
It's everybody within a 30-foot range, right?
What you do is we just run out into the group, and then we make everybody within 30 feet look the exact same.
I don't
No
think
one will know.
Not the worst strategy.
It'll just cause a lot of chaos and confusion.
Wow, that's such an interesting idea.
I will say a lot of this hinges on the success of that spell being cast. It is a rather powerful and higher tier spell. You get one shot.
Are you saying there's a chance it might not work?
One has to successfully cast it.
What were the rules on that again?
So it's 5th level. So it's a DC 15 check. Using spellcasting modifier.
And it doesn't matter what level spellcaster you are.
It's if you
Unless you're the
It's just
unless
if
you're the
it's-
same level.
if you're the same level, then you can just cast it.
Gotcha.
I definitely don't have 5th level spells.
Nobody does yet. Some people just got some 4th level spells though. So locate creature, which is a 4th level spell. As long as it's on your spell list, one of you would be able to use that without a roll. That would just work.
Does anybody have that on their spell list?
And that's you have to have access to 4th level spells at the time, right?
Yeah, I believe that's how it was working.
Okay.
My worry is that
Um,
Eska might be the best person to cast Seeming.
I'm hoping that hunters have locate. Well, he's not a full caster.
No, he's not.
Nay.
I can cast
Yep.
locate
Druids
creature.
have it.
So Smokey might be prime for that.
Yeah, druids.
I don't have it prepared currently, but yeah.
What's
Clerics have it.
what's your spell? What's your bonus? Eli. I mean, well, I won't say Silveris because I'm not talking in character.
So what is it? 8 plus.
Oh no,
Um,
it's just the proficient.
Your spell,
It's just
like your whatever your stat is that you use to cast spells.
yeah, plus proficiency, right?
Oh, plus proficiency.
Is it plus proficiency?
I mean, for spell
spellcasting
spell attacks.
modifier.
Oh, well then, yeah. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
oh boy.
But yeah, mine's what 6?
Okay, I'm at 7. So
Claire?
technically, oh, can Claire cast Seeming?
She is an arcane cleric, so she's got a bigger list of accessible spells.
Oh, she may win out then.
Or knowledge cleric? Arcane, one of those.
Checking. It's certainly not on their regular list. Let me have a look. So Claire. Ba-do-ba-do. Let's see.
What if Claire can cast locate creature or seeming?
We're checking for seeming.
So you can definitely do locate creature.
If you want me to like try to kill it or something, you want me to do that?
What are you killing?
I don't know. Just pointing at it.
Oh, I see. Does Claire have a bigger modifier as well? Because it might be moot. Does she have better than +7?
No.
Then
Just 6.
then it's moot.
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 Moot moot.
Does anybody have anything that can help somebody cast a spell? Boost
What
our
kinds of
chances?
things do that?
Does guidance actually? I know people cast guidance all the time. Does guidance actually help with this?
Bless, maybe?
Let's see.
I really should know, but I don't remember off the top of my head now.
It's against.
It is
It's with
an-
ability check. The guidance.
Yeah, it's and using a scroll is an ability check.
Ah. Does anybody have guidance? Next question.
I don't have it currently, but I could.
It's a cantrip though.
Yeah,
Oh.
you can't switch up.
I was just checking that. I was like, wait a second, is this a spell? But
Does Claire have guidance?
Claire does not have guidance.
Okay. It must be in our other game that someone has. Rob have guidance?
it would have to be Rob, I would think, if anybody has it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Don't remember if he does. I don't think he does though.
But here it's moot.
Maybe Eli. I wonder if somebody had it in our other, like the evil campaign.
The evil campaign.
Yeah,
Oh, you.
The
I think
evil good campaign.
there's a chance that you
Now-
had it.
yeah. I wondered if I might have, or what? Yeah, me.
Yeah. Because you're a
Yeah,
bad
I wondered
cleric,
if I-
so-
Yeah.
'Cause I
What
definitely
Claire-
don't have anything that can help.
What Claire does have is enhance ability.
Ooh.
Because like the reason I'm
which-
asking is +7 is not bad, but it's also not very certain feeling.
Well,
Close
enhanced
to-
ability would give you advantage,
That would really top things off.
Yeah.
which
ups the
on
odds.
average is a +5. So then your odds are definitely a lot better.
Yeah. It's basically
Because then you just
8
need to find a
plus-
7 on...
Is it 8? It'd be 8, wouldn't it?
Oh, right, yeah, you said you were 7. So yeah, 8 plus.
8 plus
On
on
two dice.
2D. I mean, it's possible.
A lot better
Yeah.
than not.
Yeah, the percentage is heavily in your favor at that point.
Maybe everybody pack your uniforms just in case. Now, what is the... Oh, that's weird. I can make out this scroll slightly. That is odd. So I know the casting time... oh, it lasts for 8 hours. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can cast it before we are in a problematic area. What I might do, and you guys are probably going to dislike me saying this, is in the morning I will run out and just take a little walk around to see if I can find a good patrol that is out and memorize their faces so that when I cast it, I can make us look like a certain patrol.
That has some merit.
Good.
There's also problems with it.
Tell me.
Tell me, you don't see the problems here.
I mean, if you're going to say something like, what if they come back immediately after us?
Yes.
Well, what we'll do is we'll go out, I will find a patrol, you'll come with me, you'll kill them all, and then we don't have to worry about that. We'll just hide their bodies. Or we can skin
That's a
their bodies and
straightforward
use
plan.
their flesh as a disguise. We don't even need the scroll. We will just peel the flesh off, put it on ours, and we'll go in. I don't know.
I mean,
I
you like
mean-
to hunt, so that seems to work.
There's... I mean, whatever we do there is danger, but my thought was that if we use somebody that is out on patrol, there's less chance of being questioned on the way in. For our, they may be. I don't know how well the guards at the front of the castle may recognize the other guards. And if they don't recognize them at all, they may be a little reticent to let us in. It has a risk.
Yeah,
but if
it
they
does,
don't,
but
if
I
they
guess,
don't come in, if they don't come in too close to when we go in, maybe they will be the ones that get accused of. They'll be the second ones there. They may be the ones that get accused of being doppelgangers, and that could take some time to sort out.
Plan gets better and better.
Doesn't it though?
I mean, if you want to go in as random, that is okay. I just know that our group is not always the best at pretending who we are. And sort of selling an identity. And I don't want to have to slap you on the butt again, but
Wait, what?
it's a figure of speech.
Eska, make a deception roll.
It is 14.
I don't see through the lie.
So from now on, Silvarius is going to start going around saying that as a figure of speech.
yeah, right. it's an old moon elf saying.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Writing this down.
Same.
Is that highly believable?
Would Smokey be able to tell?
Oh, you can roll insight.
Says nothing but laugh.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Cosette would need to roll.
No,
there.
she was the one who saw it.
Oh,
She was the one
right.
poking her head out.
Cosette
Yeah.
does not need to roll though.
But does
But
Bardura
also-
realize
She whispered
it's
it to
not a figure
Claire,
of
but I
speech,
don't think-
even though he was the one?
Mm.
Does Bardor realize? Does Bardor remember it? Is that what we're going on with here?
No, not does he remember, but you know, I mean, he doesn't understand these
He remembers
elf
his
ways.
shame.
He might also have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell either.
Did you also roll low?
Yeah, it's an 11.
Oh dear.
So I'm probably just sitting there a little bit unsure still.
Continually thinking, why did I get along with this group?
Well, he kind of thinks it's a little bit fun. All this mystery and weird things. Fascinating.
It's an adventure like no other, that's for sure.
That's right.
Alrighty. So now that we've established that slapping someone on the butt is a well-known moon elf saying.
Contextually for being stealthy, right?
Yeah.
That's true. Anything else needed to be achieved?
Don't think so.
Severus, the rocks look like the one that you had previously, but there's two of them.
Oh, yeah. And he lets everybody know. We do have these sending stones. I guess that is an important aspect to this whole thing.
It's probably worth noting that those were given with the intention that they were a loan.
Just a couple of normal rocks. Wink, wink.
This is why we can't go in and try and deceive people.
No. But that's what seeming's for. We get. Well, that's just. I don't know if we can bonus to artist.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Oh, wouldn't it?
It might depend how convincing we are.
Yeah. How well you remember.
So, hammering out the details, what is our entrance plan?
Depending on if we're okay with it, I will go out in the morning, find a patrol right before we are about to go, and come back, cast a spell on us, and then one of us, I guess, will have to volunteer to be a prisoner. If we're going to attempt to use the story of going down to the cells. And then we go down to the cells.
I feel like that's a. I feel like the prisoner route is a semi-decent one.
Who wants to be the prisoner?
Not it.
I can be your prisoner.
Okay. What would you like to be?
Would I have an idea about what might make sense for Drakesburg? Or does it really matter? In terms of
I was just wondering whether you would have to have a tail.
Oh, because
Says you must choose a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs.
yeah.
Tail isn't strictly a limb, but I think it's close enough.
I mean, it is an appendage.
Yeah.
It's attached to me.
Now, arguably, would the clothing appearance, like if you did like a robe, would it hide an appendage if they like held their tail
Yeah, and you
down?
could do like Goku and or Vegeta and just wrap it around your waist, Saiyan style.
Bingo. I'm just saying.
Oh no.
Yes, those are viable options, I would assume, depending on how Eska sets things up. I'm now trying to think what other species there are out there that would be viable options. I mean, obviously, you just be a different tabaxi.
Do you want to be a black dragonborn? You could be a black dragonborn thief.
Well, that sounds fun. Yes.
I could make you look quite menacing and suspicious.
Dracaris?
Look exactly like Silverius.
I do not approve.
What is the most untrustworthy face I can think of?
This seems a good idea. I like it.
Okay.
We should just go in as a council of Illithid.
I mean,
7 Illithid just walk out of nowhere.
Float on over.
That's right.
Ooh, yeah.
Floating.
one of us has to be Zoidberg.
He's the least scary mind flayer.
Yeah.
So we do have our original, like, pilfered garb, right? Or purloined garb.
To my knowledge. Yeah.
Okay. So we should definitely dress up in that. Should we need to bail on the seeming, we can bail into just guard form and still try to play the game.
Yes, yes. Or if something cancels, you never know if something might alter the magic or something and make it drop. In which case it would be good.
Quite true.
So, who all has one of those tabards? Because we didn't come out with a full allotment.
Yeah, I don't think
Came up one short.
I did. I think I had the shield. Gave up a tabard.
I'm pretty sure I have a tabard.
I mean,
Yeah, I should have a tabard.
I started
you know
off
what?
it, but I didn't.
I used Eska's robe
I'm remembering now actually.
and shield.
So somebody can have my tabard because I took a full uniform from one of the ones that we killed outside the city.
That's right, you did.
So
was
the spare person over that we only had one tabard. I will give you a tabard and I'll just have the full uniform.
That should
Oh.
be enough then, I would think.
I mean, we'll look a bit hodgepodge.
Well, especially
Well, and I don't need a tabard because I'm the prisoner.
initially, at least, yeah. I was going to say that too. You do have, initially at least, you have one who's not a guard.
Well, it sounds like the plan is in place. After that, I think things get a little bit dependent on the situation.
What time are you going in?
Do we know what time the Day of Destruction kicks off?
You do. So, from the posters and talking to people, you know that the treasure hunt starts early, like dawn. The parade. No, there's a chance that I will have told you something different, but this is the current plan. So, don't go back and reference previous versions. The parade is at noon, and it leads down to Great Green. And once it arrives, it transitions over, and they have the tournaments, jousting, and single combat. And then once those are over, it's usually at the point, because days are fairly short at this time of year. So as night falls, that's when they do the big spectacular firework type display.
Well, we can't miss the fireworks, so it needs to be before that. I'm assuming that you guys are going to want to enter the sword tournaments for some reason, so it have to be before that.
What?
Well, you know.
Whilst I am confident in my skills and abilities, I am not here to parade them around.
Are you sure?
Maybe during the parade, or the treasure hunt. I don't know.
Would the jousting, by chance, allure the attention of more of the guards?
I guess that's I guess really.
I'm just thinking whatever causes a minimal
I could see
amount to be on duty.
I could see the parade doing that too. Because they will need to keep order.
We will have a good amount of time under the spell to pick and choose a good moment.
That's true. We could aim for the parade, but then if it seems like that's not enough, we could just hang on.
Does that mean we could participate in the treasure hunt?
I mean, we won't be doing anything else.
Smokey's just like looking around at the rest of the group to see how they're responding to this suggestion.
That's excited about treasure hunt.
Savarius just has his big grumpy face as per usual.
I don't hear anybody saying no.
I mean, it sounds interesting.
I mean, if I get gold, I guess there's some good out of that.
Smokey like leans into Bardor and gives him the old like little elbow nudge, like ha ha. Yep.
I mean, I can 100% guarantee that we're gonna do the treasure hunt and somehow end up all being captured.
Yeah,
During the treasure hunt.
that's the mental part of me being like Savarius just saying no, but I'm like, I kind of want to see there be a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Smokey doesn't think that far ahead. He's just like, ooh, fun. Let's do it.
Well, I mean, up at dawn then?
And so then our day began. Our last day in Drakesburg.
Okay. Where are you sleeping? And did anyone else want to do anything before the night is through?
I don't want to do anything, but how cold is it outside?
Well, it's cold.
I guess Esco will stay inside tonight then.
The low is probably like 15 Fahrenheit. Maybe colder.
Okay, yeah, she'll stay inside at this time.
All right.
Are we at the place where we
I-
have been sleeping? I don't recall.
Well, not at the moment. You were at the Cup and Rat in Dark Orchard.
Did we prepay for this, Cosette?
I don't think so. Remember.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I don't think.
I feel like
Yeah.
we did.
I think you may have prepaid at the Warrior and Cup
Yeah.
in West Meandering for like 2 or 3 nights.
Right. I mean, not staying in the same place over and over might not be a bad thing.
And we know it's safe.
I mean, what's safe?
Yeah, what is safe?
Well,
I feel like the Cup
we've
has
stayed
been-
there. We've stayed there before, and it's been okay. Yeah, see? We have stayed at Cup and Rat, right?
The Cup and Rat is where you slept on the floor, yeah?
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
I feel like certain members of the group are going to want to sleep in beds.
I mean, Claire would certainly prefer a bed.
So would Sylvarius, as he's heading back to the Warrior and the Cup.
he's just gone. Once again, Tavares, you are... This weather feels like home. It's a very pleasant reminder.
He just breathes it in. That brings up a thought in his mind. Did you say that there was going to be more thinking on
Yes.
on the on the walk back, or?
So yeah, as you're sort of walking back, Kedox kind of nestling up on your shoulder, as he tends to. You're kind of trying to think back through his message and what it could mean. And the first thought you have is, for the first time that you've really thought about it, is what happens to Kedox when he bamps out of existence for you. Because you know he's sort of like he like has a celestial essence that is kind of what gets pulled into the material plane to assist you. But the way he acted when he came back that time has for the first time raised the question of, where does he go? Because he appeared and had information. And then just thinking about that, the message he was trying to relay. It's Order of the Dawning Sapphire, Drakesburg, and it's that last piece that you're trying to figure out. What does that mean? And as you're just sort of like thinking on it and like kind of just moving your hand a little bit and thinking, you think about some of those silly street magicians that you see in the big cities, just trying to con people out of a bit of money. And it's all hands. Where they're just like moving their hands, and that's when you hit upon the concept of illusion or fake, not real. And you think that might be what he was trying to get to you.
Ooh.
That final piece of the puzzle is illusion. So, you end up back at the Faerun Cup. There is 2 rooms as before. And assuming nothing's changing, that would leave Eska, Cosette, and Claire in one room, and Butter Smoky and Silveris in the other. Anyone want to do anything before you sleep? Are we good?
I am. I'm going to just look over the premises, see if the door locks. Just look outside. Feeling all a little paranoid.
Give me perception or investigation.
Activation.
Yes, perceptivation. Absolutely.
Okay, I'll give perception. $22.
So, looking around. Obviously there's no guards in the tavern or anything like that. You know that in theory there's usually some of the vague goblin militia that hang out in the street. Whether they would stay out doing their job on a night like this, hard to say. Very chilly. But the front door to the tavern itself does lock, but probably isn't locked overnight. You imagine that the establishment is just open all hours. But the rooms do all, I say all, the 2 rooms have locks. So you are able to lock. It's not like fancy locks, but it locks. You could probably reinforce it with a bit of effort. Like wedge something, because the door opens in, so you could probably even just wedge something underneath the door to encourage it to stay closed.
Yes, I will. I will do that.
No problem. Easy enough. And the window's actually locked too, believe it or not.
Are they locked currently?
In your room, they were. I feel like I'm trying to remember. I have a weird distant memory of someone opening a window, but I don't remember when that was.
Well, I will make sure it's locked.
But I feel like I think one of the girls may have opened a window at some point.
Fools.
Possibly to let Eska in or out.
I feel that sounds like.
Yeah, I'll, make sure it's all locked up and then head to bed.
Okay, cool. For those who prepare spells, make sure you have what you want the next day as we wake up on the 3rd of Uktar, the day of deliverance. As you wake up, it actually feels not quite as cripplingly cold. The rooms are not. There's like a small. There's place for a small fire in the room. But it struggles to keep the cold out fully. But yeah, it's not. You feel like the fire is not struggling as much as it was. It is clear outside. And yeah, you can go down and grab some food.
Eska, before she leaves the room, is going to do a druidcraft, see what the weather's looking like.
Okay. Generally, still fairly cloudy, but warmer, probably above freezing.
Okay.
Gentle breeze. So yeah, you can head down, have breakfast. As you're eating, those with the higher passive perceptions, you know who you are. And more importantly, those of you who don't, you know who you are. You would just notice that as you're kind of sitting down to eat, there seems to be more people on the streets outside than usual, and the flow of traffic is definitely heading in one direction. Feels like the outer the outer settlements on the island are heading into the city today. And it seems like quite a few of them have got up earlier than you to head in.
We should get going if you want to get the treasure.
I agree. And Smokey shovels his breakfast in.
I find festival so frustrating. The traffic is so abysmal.
Is everybody coming, or are some of them more... Is anyone not coming?
The more the merrier.
Well, it sounds like a full house.
It does.
I mean, we're trying to sneak in there, aren't we?
What, to get the treasure from the treasure hunt?
All right, here we go.
Did we find out what the rules were?
Nope. Sure didn't.
Rules.
Go team.
If someone picks up treasure, take it from them.
Is the barkeep around serving us food?
Yeah.
Barkeep, do you know what the rules for this treasure hunt are?
Oh, well, yeah, so, a lot of it is for the young folk, you know, they enjoy the excitement of running around the city looking for clues and finding bits of treasure. In truth, most of the treasure is not really very valuable, but every year, one of the pieces of treasure turns out to be very special indeed. It's really just a case of luck if you happen to find that one. But, yeah, so, you know, if you, you go through the city and there's, clue givers, you know, you'll know who they are because they have ridiculous dragon hats on. And they'll give you a small clue with a riddle that leads you to a place within the city. And then once you figure out where it is, and you have to give them the clue. It's important because the person that you're getting it from also has a ridiculous dragon hat on. So it's pretty obvious, but you have to match your clue to the right person, you see. If you do that, then they'll give you your reward. Did that make sense?
Perfect, thank you. Have a good day. And Esker is
Oh,
trying
you're
to
very
run out the
welcome.
door.
Good luck.
Smokey's
And,
with Eska.
Elsack goes, turns back and starts puttering around. So, Smokey and Eska have left at pretty high speed. The rest of the group sort of towing behind slightly less enthusiastically. Would that be accurate?
I see.
Like our parents?
Yeah, that's kind of how I imagine it now that you say it.
Cosette said she was excited about it as
Yeah.
well, so she can be in the kids
Yeah,
group.
pretty excited. Like prizes.
Keep up, Cosette.
Okay. So, as you approach the, even as you get in towards Dark Orchard, the streets are busier than you've ever seen. You're not really sure quite how there are this many people hanging around, but it's not like you're shoulder to shoulder or anything. But there's just lots of people. And right now, the traffic is probably 30-40% goblins coming in from West Meanderings. And then as you get into Dark Orchard, that sort of turns into the Dark Orchard is a bit more varied than West Meanderings. But yeah, there's a whole gaggle of different folks heading their way towards the North Gate right now. And as you get towards the North Gate, it is pandemonium. There are guards, less than usual. And boy, they are trying their best, but it is rough trying to... You can see that no amount of smiling is going to get Cosette a pat down today. They just don't have the bandwidth for that. They are fully tapped, just looking out for obvious weapons, that sort of thing.
Is
there's
Cassette
a way-
trying to look innocent though?
I don't know, Cosette, are you trying to look innocent?
I think she's trying not to try. Because trying didn't work out for her.
I mean, I like to think that she's so caught up in the enjoyment of the thought of the treasure hunt that she just looks innocent.
Oh.
That's how I
Yeah,
imagine
would
it.
say she's genuinely excited.
Not unlike her
She-
profile picture right now. Big eyes, big grin. Okay. So, you, without too much hassle, are inside the city. Let's update so that we're on the right page. We want to be on the city. So, end of Aegis. All right. Here. So, you have just crossed in through the north gate. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
I'm
I
on the
follow
lookout
Smokey's lead.
for ridiculous dragon hat.
Okay.
Smokey
Give
would
me
be
perception check.
Smokey would be kind of seeing where the crowd is going and looking for these quote unquote young folk to as guidance as to where we should be headed.
Okay. I will have a perception from you as well. Then.
Just a 9.
Okay.
10 for Smokey.
Okay. So generally speaking, it feels like the bulk of people are moving towards the Great Green. That's the sort of the that's where the sort of the mass is generally pointing towards, which makes sense. They're probably those who aren't trying to do the treasure hunt are probably trying to get good seats for the end of the parade and the tournaments. Because you know there were seats being set up for those, and there's probably a section that's paid, and probably a section that is just free, with no cushion. So yeah, some people will just be getting there early, and then sitting down, having a laugh, probably drinking. There are, however, you do see like a few groups of kids running around. And you look at one group that not too far ahead of you turns right towards the river. And Cosette, from where you're at, you don't see any silly hats just yet.
Fair enough.
I think I saw some kids going this way, and he points to where they went and starts going in that direction.
Okay. So as you take the turn they took and head towards the river, you do see at the end of the road where it gets to the riverbank, you can see the hat quite early on. It's not hard. There's a large white stuffed dragon that is just sitting on this wide-brimmed hat on top of someone's head. And there is a group of 15 sort of like 6 to 9-year-olds clustered around, all trying to get their own copy of the Or the riddle that he's providing.
Push all of them out of the way. See?
Straight into the river with them.
I guess we wait her. I mean, I'm assuming you don't have to like pay him. You just kind of go up and they give you the clue or whatever.
Yeah. So Crusade, if you're up there first, the guy smiles at you and hands you a little. It's just like a small scroll that's sealed with wax.
Okay. Pops it open. Kind of leaning it to Smokey so they can read it together.
Eli, can you give that thing a bang again? Better?
No.
It was briefly.
Better now.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So this one says, I'm a creature of legend, fierce and bold, with wings of fire, and tales untold. Seek me where knowledge is kept and old. I'll put that in the chat for you.
And so this is supposed to be a clue that is supposed to lead us to a location. Right?
Yes. And as you sort of read yours and you glance down, like you start looking around, you do see one of the kids in front of you. His riddle appears to be different.
Oh, okay.
So they're not all... Everyone's not getting the
okay.
same one each
Smokey,
time.
get one too and see if yours is the same.
Okay. And he walks up to get his.
Yours does not say that. It says, with colors vibrant and scales so grand, a mural of me adorns the land. You didn't think you'd have to do actual riddles, did you? Anyone is welcome to.
Yeah, so
to
is there
weigh
like
in.
a, I guess we know a little bit because we've walked around a little, but, is there like, thinking seek me where knowledge is kept and old?
Yes.
Is there like, yeah, library,
Library?
I was thinking, I don't know what would have wings of fire. I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of magical creatures, but just in the common one.
Give me a history check.
Okay. Eh, 11.
That's no, that's good enough. You do remember in the city, not too far, like But between the port and the castle, you do have a memory of a building that said archive on it. You don't remember the name beyond archive, but there was some sort of
Okay.
archive that way.
And for mine wasn't there like some sort of monument or something in where the Great Green is?
So there's there's nothing at the Great Green. There's the statue of the Deliverer, which is in front of the castle.
This sounds like something that's on the ground, though. Like a mosaic or something, or a... I don't know.
Do you remember seeing something that looks like the Seska?
Do I?
Roll a history check.
That's not going to be good, I'm pretty sure. 11?
11 is good. So you haven't seen it personally, but a memory does stir of when you were hanging out by like near the castle, listening and scouting and stuff. And you did hear a fragment of someone talking about how there were people painting underneath Cloud Lodge. Like there was a big painting being put on the grounds underneath the Cloud Lodge.
There could be something under the Cloud Lodge. I heard some people talking about them painting under there. Maybe they made something special for today.
Okay. Well, this is where my clue is sending me. Should we go to the clues together?
Probably
Yeah.
best.
I think the archive place should be kind of on the way. And probably the closest.
Okay. Let's go there.
We just head to that like area of town, Phil, and just kind of look around.
Okay. Yeah. So you head down. You can take the route you took before along the river, up along. You come to the sort of the base of the great walls of the castle. And then
This is the way with the fancy
no.
shop that everything was like
Oh,
really
yeah.
fancy, but not actually to be used.
Right, that's correct. So yeah, you come down this way, next to the castle, and then you can kind of come through, and it's as you're coming through that you find the Phoenix Archive.
We did it.
And as you go inside, you see another friendly, smiling face. This time with a similar wide-brimmed hat with a large black dragon on top.
Now,
You do see a couple of kids who have gone up and they're showing their clues.
and do we give the clue to the person? Like, what are they doing?
That's what
Okay.
yeah, that's what the kids are doing.
So wait my turn.
There's only a couple of kids. It's not as long a wait this time.
So while I'm waiting there, looking around, like, what is it? Is it a like a public archive, or is it like they have things like things for sale?
Oh, no, it is a. It's not a shop. It's
Okay.
definitely a
Yeah, yeah.
knowledge repository. And assuming that Silveris and Bardor are trailing along behind all of
Yes.
this, you get momentary flashbacks to the Fulrith. There's a similar setup on one side of this sort of main large atrium, and even more dishearteningly, you notice that most of the lines are clearly closed. They've got like little a rolling blind thing that's pulled down, and so there's only a couple of people who are actually working right now. Most of the activity in the building is focused on the poor person in the very oversized hat.
So
But yeah, so you hand over, you kind of show, hi, yeah, here's the thing. And this is a young female elf, just smiles at you and says, "Congratulations." And she reaches into a little bag and pulls out what looks like a lump of gold. And hands it to
and
you.
was it actually?
Well, it's roll me a percentile die.
Also, she asks if there's anywhere where we can buy hats, the dragon hat.
She laughs a little and says, "No, I'm sorry. These are they're only for quest givers and treasure givers. White for the quests and black for the treasure."
So, do you give me another quest, or I have to find another one with a white hat to get a second?
Correct.
Another
You
one.
you have to
Okay.
find one of my friends with the white hat. Sorry, the noble white dragon.
Yes. All right, 94 on the percentile dice. So she kind of takes whatever it is and maybe tosses it
Okay.
up just to kind of see it.
Yeah, and as you do so, it kind of crinkles a little bit, and you catch it, and foil peels away, and inside is a lump of chocolate.
Ooh. Okay. She takes a bite. Okay.
Yummy. Very chocolatey. But I mean, it's just like a smaller than a fist, but it's a big old lump
She
of
looks
chocolate.
over and is like to the boys, and she's like, "Guys, isn't this great?"
But Bador, could you explain your internal feelings right now in this moment?
Just like, what the hell?
You found the special prize cassette.
Yeah, I think this might be the grand prize.
I think so. Looks tasty.
It looks very tasty. I want to go get mine.
Is this because of the meme I posted?
Which one?
It was,
Yeah, there's
Gotta
so
be
many
more
memes.
specific.
I want my effing gold.
Oh,
Oh.
I'll be honest. I forgot that.
It just hit me. I was like, wait a minute.
But it just goes to show.
All right, so off to Look for the mural.
So Smokey's ready to dash off to
Okay.
the cloud
So-
place.
You realize as you kind of come out onto the street that you're not 100% sure exactly how you're supposed to get there. Because you haven't been there before. Ooh, Eli, it got bad again.
Come on, I'm not even moving.
That's the problem.
Maybe you should move. Maybe, yeah.
I will buy a new set this week.
Eska, what is this place called again?
It's the. I think in theory, we should head under the. We should head for the floating house, and then we'll be there.
Okay. I look for that. And start to head for
All
it.
right. As you kind of, you have to kind of get into a spot where the buildings aren't too tall and close. But eventually, you kind of wiggle around a bit and keep looking, and eventually you do find an angle. You follow this street down, and then there's a path straight through to the green beneath the Cloud Lodge. And you have, for really the first time, you have an angle up to see this floating mansion hovering. Right now, it's about 50 feet up. Other days it's been higher. Seems to have come lower, maybe for the festivities somehow? It's unclear. No one really, in your group at least, knows how or why there is a floating mansion, how it's controlled, etc. But as you come out onto the green area, you do see, a little ways in, you see a person in a black hat. And again, there's a group of mostly children, not exclusively children, but mostly children. Who's handing out what's names.
I get in line immediately.
All right, eventually it's your turn.
I give him my clue.
All right. Please roll a D100 again.
Uh, 2 zeros and a 5. I don't know what that means.
It just means 5.
Okay. 5.
All right. You take a look. You give it a little, just like move it in your hands, and sure enough, it crinkles. Chocolate.
I immediately stick it in my mouth.
That is quite big for your mouth.
Or I take a bite out of it.
I mean, you could fit it all in, but how well you'd be able to bite would be interesting.
Okay. It's not big enough for me to, like, just pop it in my mouth. I would take a bite out of it.
Okay. I mean, you could probably bite it in half and then chew that.
Yeah.
Depending on how enthusiastic you're being.
Yes. That level of enthusiasm. How does it taste?
It's nice. I feel like, because you said your tribe had like a were traders, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely would have encountered chocolate before.
Yeah.
TRAD.
One of those things that...
TRAD. Traders or traitors? Just confirming.
Traders with
Oh,
a
okay.
D. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, Cosette's gonna go all righteous vengeance.
So yes, but you've encountered it before. This is good quality, you would say.
I would just, with a mouthful of chocolate, be like, "Good stuff. You want some?" And like, I hold my hand out to see if anybody else wanted some.
Oh, Cassette ate hers on the way over here and did not offer any to anybody else.
I mean, I will. I mean, I will definitely try it. Like, I mean, it's not gold, but
Esker also.
And then after
Sure.
he swallows, he would say, "This is good quality chocolate."
I'm sure Claire would want a sample as well. What about Severus?
I just gives like a hand wave, like nah.
So yeah, I mean, I would say this is for people who've had it, this is like galaxy chocolate that you get in England. So it's very smooth, silky.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what the equivalent. Well, actually, no. I think Dove is quite similar, having that smoothness rather than.
Not as smooth as Lindt truffles.
It's not as smooth as Lindt truffle. No,
Okay.
It's not that good.
you have to are really good to get that stuff. Alrighty. You do see, by the way, further south on the other end of this green underneath the Cloud Lodge, you do see another white hat. Should you be interested?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Cosette, this is where we need to go.
Yep, let's go.
We head that way.
All right. Who's up first?
Smokey's first this time.
I would like. Well, I was gonna let Cassette go first because that was the trend of the last
Oh, okay.
one.
That works.
Alrighty. You wait your turn and get your thing, crack it open. It says, "Born in flames with scales that gleam, my fiery breath is a dragon's dream."
Okay.
So is the answer to like all this stuff like a phoenix or something? Everything's a phoenix, right? Is that that's what we're going with?
Mine wasn't a phoenix.
What?
No, there's a big dragon painting on the ground.
I thought we talked about phoenixes.
Oh, the first one was the Phoenix Repository. Or
The first one was
Or
the
archive,
Phoenix
yeah.
Archive, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll await my clue.
Okay, and yours says, "Guardians of waters, with fins so grand, where waves meet land, I make my stand."
So the only thing that comes to mind for mine is some sort of like maybe a bank. Something with money.
Okay.
Without remembering much
roll me-
about the places in the city.
Mm.
Um,
Roll me history.
either a 2, natural 2s for a 7. So either like a bank or smith or something.
You haven't seen any banks. I mean, there's been plenty of merchants and
Yeah.
traders around.
What do they use? Drake coin here?
Thinking about it, you haven't seen where any smiths are yet. That's not to mean there aren't any. It just means you haven't seen them.
Okay. Well, mine's a little confusing. Maybe we could go to yours first, Smokey.
Okay.
Is anyone else getting a clue? What I think of it?
Eska's just happy kind of tagging along.
Me too.
Cool.
Same. Not happy tagging along, just tagging along.
Okay. So Smokey,
Yes.
what do you think?
Uh.
Or indeed anybody.
Yeah, I mean,
Have we seen any other water other than obviously the port and the river, I guess? Like, is there anything to think that it wouldn't be something related to that? Have we seen giant fountains or?
No. Not really. You haven't seen any fountains. You assume that there probably are, especially some of the swanky houses, probably have some fountains in there, like they'll have like the sort of
Yeah,
courtyard,
like a
that sort of
garden,
thing.
but nothing like a public thing or Bellagio, nothing like.
well,
Yeah.
I just kind of wonder if it's just the port where the ships dock, like the docks.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just thinking, like, is there anything else that would even hint towards it not being that? I can't think of anything.
I gotcha.
So I have.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you can head at least towards the docks. You know the way there.
Yeah.
Wiggle back through and emerge in the dock area. You do see there's a large ship bearing Cosette, you would recognize this, the crest of one of the larger Waterdavian houses that is that's moored at one of the larger flips. With, you know, they're flying a lot of banners, a lot of heraldry on display. They want people to know that they're there. And just down from that, you see someone in a ludicrously large black dragon hat.
I'll go up to them, and when it's my turn, hand them my clue.
All right, and it's actually sort of like a older human lady. She has a little bit of a hunch. Makes you wonder how she's managing to keep this hat so well positioned. But anyway, she looks at it and says, "Oh, sorry, sweetie, that's not me."
It's not.
And she kind of sees your face and your big, sad eyes, and kind of like she does the thing where she sort of like gestures with her whole head, and looking through the ships, there's like a little cut through area. No, cut through's wrong. There's like the port kind of is at a weird angle.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an area where it looks back out kind of vaguely towards the big harbor wall.
Mm-hmm.
And there's if you're looking west, there's a green, and there's a statue in the middle of the green, and it's hard to see exactly what the statue is, but you do see beneath the statue the unmistakable giant black dragon hat of someone waiting beneath the statue.
He gets an excited look on his face, looks at her, kind of gives a little excited nod, and takes off. And goes, "This way!"
All right.
And heads towards
So you
the other.
have to come sort of down and around. Cosette, you would not notice this, but Bardor, you do notice as the group's kind of filing around here. Just off from, like just down one of these streets, you suddenly feel like this calling, deep, soulful call, the sound of hammer and anvil. And one of the streets that you're going past has more than one forge going. You can feel it, you can hear it. As you're going past, and close proximity to the docks makes sense for imports of various items. It's also very clear that Smokey's not stopping for anything right now. But you have that information. As you get closer onto this green, you see the statue is, first off, it's large. It is 20 foot long, and probably close to 15 feet high on top of the pedestal. It is a large fish. Smokey, you would almost certainly recognize this as a sailfish with this huge fin. Not too dissimilar to a swordfish, but this huge fin on its back. And yeah, you see someone underneath, holding, wearing the large hat.
Oh, wow. This is great. And he hands his clue.
This is an older male dwarf standing there. And he says, "Ah, yes, the sailfish. They guard the large ships on their way into and out of the port. At least that's what they say. So, to curry favor with whatever it is that looks after the fish, they put up this statue many years ago. Anyway, your reward."
Ah, thank you.
And you want to give me another roll?
Oh, is that a 9 or? I don't know if it's a 9 or a 6. Let me see if I can. Or a,
What's the rest
a
of it?
90 or a 60. 8 is what I rolled on the D10.
Okay. If it helps, it's chocolate.
Okay.
Hooray! We did it again, 3 in a row.
Oh, this is great. He doesn't immediately bite into this one. He just kind of hangs on to it.
Alrighty. You have one clue left.
Well, she still has like Bank Smith. Like that's just it's coming to mind. So, but not knowing where Smith is, she just says like, "Well, maybe we can look around and food while we see if we find anything that any banks or places with
So,
forges."
did you not see the Smiths that we just passed?
No. Where are they?
There was all the clinking of the hammers and the...
Oh, I was very focused on
Follow
looking
me.
for dragon hats.
Eska will take them back. I don't know if there was a person in a dragon hat there, but we just passed some, right?
Yeah, or at least like, well, you said like an aisle that had an area that had a few clustered.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's here is the street. And you can kind of see vaguely down through to where there's a more major street that's running through, and basically every building left and right is seems to be some sort of blacksmith or looks like, just looking at the signs, you think there may be some goldsmith and silversmiths here as well. But this is a very smithy area. Yes.
Do we see any hats?
You see a hat about halfway down on the left.
Eska points. Cassette.
Perfect. She kind of jogs up.
And you see a what you would assume is probably a half-orc. By far the tallest person, which makes it the easiest hat to spot. Although everything in the street is a bit blackened from the soot that is inevitably getting everywhere. But yes, half-orc looks down and says, "All right, got a quest, have you?"
Yep. She hands it over.
Good stuff, good stuff. Not the easiest one to find down here, but hey ho. Hopefully I got something good for you. And roll a percentile dice for me.
$55, that's got to be lucky, right?
So she reaches in the bag and pulls it out, and immediately something feels a little different about this one. And she hands it to you with a bit of an apologetic look.
Oh, no. I'll open it. Or just peel the wrapper.
As soon as you start to peel, it loses some of its structural integrity, and what you have here is basically an almost molten ball of chocolate.
Okay.
It's
Just
becoming clear.
Not a great place to be storing chocolate.
it's a really bad place to have chocolate.
That sounds like a good weapon, though. A molten ball of chocolate. You should put that on your equipment.
Here,
there.
Bardor, drink this.
Yeah. So, I think that's probably a good place to call it.
I know what we're doing for the next 3 sessions.
Oh boy.